Stop. Before you move on, answer this. There is someone who dislikes you right now. Someone you never wronged, never insulted, never even truly knew. You have replayed it 100 times in your mind. What did I do? What did I say? And you found nothing, because there was nothing. They did not hate you for something you did. They hated you for something you are. And until you understand the difference, their coldness will keep wounding a part of you that never deserved the blow dot. According to Friedrich Nietzsche, the most painful hatred in human life is the hatred that has no visible cause. The open insult you can answer. The clear conflict you can resolve. But the quiet, reasonless dislike, the cold glance from someone who has no reason to give it, this is the one that haunts people for years. Because we are taught that if someone dislikes us, we must have done something wrong. And so we search ourselves for a crime that was never committed. N. Nietzsche understood this long before our time. He spent his life studying the hidden machinery of resentment, and he arrived at a truth that is difficult to accept but impossible to unsee. Much of the hatred aimed at you has nothing to do with your actions, and everything to do with what your very existence stirs in others. Tonight, I will give you 7 reasons why people hate you for no reason. And by the end, you will never again carry the weight of a hatred that was never about you. Pay close attention until the very end. The 7th reason is the one that finally sets you free. Reason 1. Your existence reminds them of what they are not. Imagine doing nothing at all, simply living, simply being yourself, and still drawing someone's quiet resentment. It happens because, without a single word, you reflect something back to them. Your confidence exposes their insecurity. Your discipline exposes their excuses. Your peace exposes their inner chaos. Nietzsche understood that people often hate in others what convicts them in themselves. It's not that you did something to them. It's that your existence held up a mirror they did not want to look into. Ask yourself, is their dislike about my actions or about what I unintentionally reveal in them? N. Reason 2. They sensed your indifference to their approval. Most people, without realizing it, are constantly seeking permission to exist, adjusting themselves, performing, hoping to be accepted. And when they encounter someone who simply does not need their approval, it unsettles them deeply. Your self-sufficiency feels like a quiet rejection of the game they have spent their whole lives playing. Nietzsche understood that the herd resents the one who does not need it. It's not that you offended them, it's that you never asked for their validation, and that alone felt like an insult. Ask yourself, did I wrong them, or did I simply fail to bow? Reason 3. You became a screen for their own pain. Sometimes a person looks at you and feels a hatred that has nothing to do with you at all. You remind them of someone who hurt them. You represent a life they wish they had. You carry an ease they were never given. And so they pour onto you a resentment that belongs to wounds you never inflicted. Nietzsche understood that people project their inner suffering onto the nearest available surface. It's not that you are their enemy. It's that you became the screen onto which they cast a pain that was already there. Ask yourself, is this hatred truly about me? Or am I simply standing where their old wound can see me? N. Reason 4. Your growth disturbed the comfort of those who stayed the same. The moment you begin to rise, to improve, to change, to want more from life, something shifts in the people around you. Your growth, without you saying a word, makes them feel the weight of their own stagnation. And rather than face that feeling, they turn it into resentment toward you. Nietzsche understood that the one who climbs is rarely forgiven by those who chose to remain below. It's not that you left them behind. It's that your rising forced them to see they had stopped moving. Ask yourself, did I abandon them, or did my growth simply remind them of their own standing still? Music. Subtle rising tension. Reason 5. They decided who you were before they ever knew you. Much of the dislike you encounter was formed before a single conversation. A rumor reached them first. An assumption took root. A judgment was made based on how you looked, how you spoke, where you came from, or simply the mood they were in the day they met you. And once the human mind decides something, it searches only for evidence to confirm it. Nietzsche understood that people rarely see others as they are. They see the story they have already chosen to believe. It's not that you failed to win them over. It's that the verdict was reached before you ever walked into the room. Ask yourself, am I being judged for who I am, or for the story they decided to tell about me? N. Reason 6. Your light made them feel the shadow they carry. There are people who move through life with a certain energy, a warmth, a vitality, a quiet strength. And when this kind of person enters a room, those who feel empty inside experience it almost as an accusation. Your light does not blind them. It reveals their darkness to themselves. And rather than seek their own light, they resent yours. Nietzsche understood that the resentful do not wish to rise to your level. They wish to pull you down to theirs. It's not that your light harmed them, it's that it forced them to feel a darkness they had been avoiding. Ask yourself, did I do anything wrong, or did I simply shine in a way that made them feel their own shadow? And now, reason 7, the deepest of all, the one that finally sets you free. Their hatred was always a confession, never a verdict. Listen closely, because everything we have spoken of tonight leads to this single, liberating truth. When someone hates you for no reason, for your confidence, your peace, your growth, your light, your refusal to beg for approval, they are not telling you who you are. They are telling you who they are. Their reasonless hatred is a window into their own fears, their own wounds, their own unlived life. It is a confession spoken in the language of coldness. Nietzsche understood this with piercing clarity, that what a person hates reveals far more about them than about the one they hate. The cold glance, the quiet hostility, the dislike that has no cause. These were never measurements of your worth. They were always confessions of someone else's pain. And the moment you truly understand this, the spell is broken. You stop asking what is wrong with me, and you begin to see what is happening in them. It's not a statement about your value. It's a statement about their wound. Ask yourself, how much of my life have I spent trying to fix a flaw that lived in someone else, not in me? Here is the philosopher's final lesson. Nietzsche never asked you to become cold, to harden your heart, or to see an enemy in every face. He asked you to become free, free from the exhausting belief that you must be liked by everyone, free from the illusion that another's coldness defines your worth. Some people will dislike you for the very qualities that make you worth knowing. They will resent your strength, your peace, your refusal to shrink. And when you finally understand that their hatred was never about you, it loses every ounce of its power to wound you. You were never required to be understood by those who had already decided not to understand ... Not everyone who dislikes you has found a flaw in you. Most have simply encountered a strength, a peace, or a light they could not find in themselves. And that was never your burden to carry. So tell me in the comments, have you ever been hated for no reason you could ever name? Which truth finally set you free? The mirror you became, the approval you never begged for, or the 7th, the hatred that was only ever a confession? If this lesson reached you, leave the word free below to show you watched until the very end. And remember, the next time you feel that quiet, reasonless coldness from someone, do not search yourself for a crime you never committed. Some people will hate you simply because you carry a light they have not yet found, and that is not your wound to heal. Subscribe to Daily Philosophy to discover more lessons inspired by Friedrich Nietzsche, human psychology, and the quiet art of self-respect.